Evening, everyone. We're a couple hours away now from the FOMC meeting, and then we're going to find out if we're going to get a rate cut or not. It looks very highly likely that we are, and I'm going to break down what it means for Bitcoin. And if you guys have been following me, you've seen I've been rotating more and more risk on. I have now rotated more into a large chunk of my portfolio into one coin, and I've rotated around about 10% each for another two, which I'll break down the reasons why I've done that from Ethereum. The majority of my bag was Ethereum. I managed to get in on a very, very good price down here. Average buy. I've ridden this all the way up, and I'm not saying that it's not going to ride up. Ethereum is going to break this all-time high here, and it's going to go flying, and we're going to get roughly, I think, as I said in the last video, you know, you've got this line connecting here, this line connecting here, takes us in this region 8 to 9,000. You've got your fibs here as well, and then you've got your measured move from here up to here. So I think you're going to hit around this region here, somewhere around about here, which is a good price. You know, I can hold on to Ethereum if I wanted to and make up there. But guys, I just need to put a wee bit more risk on it to get my bags where I need them to be. Because once I'm at this point, that's me done, and I can just sit in the sun for a wee while. So I'm going to break down Bitcoin first. I'm going to explain what I'm rotating into and why, and you guys can use this logic to rotate if you want to. Now, this is risky. Rotating is meaning you're coming out of your bags and into another one, you know, something more risk on. So I would only do this if you've been doing crypto trading for a while, you're comfortable, you know what you're doing, but I'm showing you guys my method. I mean, I swear I could I could charge for this, but I'm not even going to bother, because what's the point of charging when you can give it out for free? You know what I mean? So you can use this method in your trading, in your investing, on how to rotate in and out. And yeah, just a bit of teaching, a bit of learning for you. Hopefully you like it, guys. So let's break it down. So let's just go straight into Bitcoin. Like we were talking about before, I'll use this chart now because that one's quite messy. We have called this, if you haven't been around, we've called this very early doors. It's a huge head and shoulders. This has somehow gone AWOL. Huge head and shoulders. It's a breakout, retest. You see it? Breaks out, retest, and moves up. And on the breakout and retest, it's formed its own head and shoulders. And then when everyone is panicking here, we were saying it's just coming down into resistance, retesting the breakout, into support, sorry, retesting the breakout, and it's moving up, which is brilliant. So once we get these interest rate cuts, this is going to send the market flying. Part of me thinks it's going to be too easy just for the market to go off. I think there'll be a flush down. I think there'll be a flush down, one final scare. You know, they're going to put some narrative behind it, and it's going to be like, you know, the Fed is probably only going to cut 25 basis points. So the narrative might be something like they're only cutting 25, not 50, or the market was expecting 50, not 25, and a sell-off happens. But it'll just be a quick final flush out. That's all it's going to be. So don't panic when this happens. It's there just to shake you out before this last move. Because don't get me wrong, guys, I'm talking about rotating into coins, but these coins I'm only going to hold for the next couple of months. Like, do not do this unless you know what you're doing, you're comfortable with it, you know your taxes, everything like that. There's a famous saying, there's more money lost preparing for preparing for a fall than there is when in an actual fall. 2 seconds, that's my phone. So please only do this if you're comfortable with it. Okay, so Bitcoin's bouncing off, we're happy with that. Interest rates are coming. We're going to probably get a flush out. If not, we're just going to blast off, but we'll probably get a flush out first and then a blast off. So let's get into it. let's get into what I am doing. There's the Ethereum position, bought up, rode up. It's about 3x, which is superb. So, what I'm going to be doing is here, there is no retail here. You know, you guys are here, whoever's listening to this, like 3 people or something. But we're the guys that are here. There's the retail hasn't arrived, and maybe it might arrive the next couple of months when the news really starts hyping it out. But that's when we need to get rid of this. We need to get rid of our bags. We need to take profits. You know, don't get me wrong, guys. You can just hold on to your bags through the cycle. There's nothing wrong with that. What I'm doing is I'm taking profits and then I'm buying back in around about a year's time. So there's no retail here. So who's going to send these alts? It's going to be institutions. So what institutions are going to buy alts? They're only going to buy the alts in the ETFs. So to make sure we're maximizing our gains here in the alt season, I'm going to be rotating from Ethereum into ETFs, altcoins that have ETFs that are on the final deadline this year. So what do I mean by the final deadline? The final deadline is the who is it? I've just SECC. They've pushed this back as far as they can push it, and they've finally got the last ever opportunity. They have to say yes or no. They can't push it back anymore. So these altcoin ETFs are going to be announced in October and November. Each have different days between them, but between October and November, this is historically when the cycle tops. So I am planning on buy the rumor, sell the news, and my gut feel right now is to sell. The top will be when the ETFs are announced. But if the price action says that's sound, just run them longer, then fair enough. You know, I'll keep running them. I'll keep hold of them until price action tells me to go down. So what altcoins is there? These are the altcoins, guys. It's Ethereum. Sorry, not Ethereum. I've just put there as a reference. So Solana, Dogecoin, XRP, DOT, ADA, Litecoin, HBAR, and AVAX. SUI potential, but I've got SUI there because it's such a it runs so hard, and it's a very institutional coin as well. They might just approve that early doors to let all the early ones in, the early funders. So these are my shortlist. I've gone through them and I'm thinking, what am I going to pick here? So my first choice was Solana. I have rotated a chunk into Solana right now. I actually want to get more in. I'm still deciding on how much I want to get in and how. If I can get in around about here, I'll have an average buy of roughly 200. I've been buying up a little bit, but I can put a heavy chunk in here to balance out the 200. And what I'll look for there, 200 to 400, a nice double. I think that's a solid double there. Whereas I think Ethereum may double into the 9,000s, but there's a risk it might go a little less. Whereas I think Solana can definitely double to 400 and potentially run into 600. Because it just takes looking at this chart. You know what I mean? It just takes looking at the chart to see, like, that's 400. Yeah, that's 400. It's like, that's, yeah. I mean, that's only double the all-time high. And there's a nice bit of cluster there as well for fibs. But ideally, I made a model price as well. That's something. I don't know if these are interested in that. That's more of an Excel-based modeling. I just use that as a reference. That's up at 600. And we've got these fibs up around about 600 as well. So I think a 400 is solid. And I also think you might actually get up to 600. So that's why I'm rotating a chunk into Ethereum, into Solana. I think that might end up being around about 50% of my bags. What else have I done? I have rotated into DOT. And you are asking DOT. And I thought the same thing as well. I was like, that coin's an old coin and it's pretty much dead. And then I thought to myself, that's exactly the narrative that I'm looking for. I was like, it is pretty much dead. It feels like it's dead. I mean, look at it from the highs. It's been battered. So, how far is that down? Let's just have a wee test here. Bear with me, guys. I used to do these videos pretty much every day, so I'm a bit rough around the edges these days. You gotta bear with me. Sorry, that's the wrong one. Let's do this one. So that is down something like over 90%. Yeah. So that's interesting. It's got an ultra dead narrative. It's down 90%. And look at it. We've got it at the rock bottom prices. But look, this has happened so many times when price comes down and it forms this base. Forms the base. Now, if we just do a move up here, I think I got in around about 4. If we hit the tops like that, that's a 3x from there. And it just takes something like that move there. The ETF's there, so you could easily just buy the news, sell the news. Buy the rumour, sell the news. If you guys can't see that, I'll just colour that up. What I did is I just took a bar pattern of that. See exactly how it ran there and put it there. See how quickly this can move? And that was only less than a year ago. Now this moved up on the move. There was no how to say it, there's no narrative on DOT this time it moved up. That was just, it moved up with everything else. This time there was a narrative there where I think it was DOT 2.0, the parachains, and it ripped up. So now we've got the ETF narrative. Even if this is not announced, this will pump up. Once people clock DOT has got this and it starts moving, people will jump on. So we've got, I think, a solid 3x here. But if we want to let it run, you know, that's a 7x. You know, you got your 600% profit plus your 100% in. So that's a 7x just to get to the 50%. I'm happy with a 3x here. I might let it run depending on if it does. But I think we've got a solid 3x here. So I've put in, I think it was around about 10% of my portfolio onto this. The next one I've put into is... Oh, sorry. Before I do that, let me just go through the reasoning why. I've just told you why. So, we've got the narrative. We've got it reduced right down. Look at DOT against Ethereum. It has double bottom. See it? Perfect double bottom. Breakout retest. So, we have DOT on the Ethereum pair, double bottom. We've got DOT on the USD pair at the bottom of the range. And we have DOT on the Ethereum, on the ETH. This is just absolutely all-time lows. All the way down, breakout retest. And if we look here, look how deep that is. That is the deepest the RSI has ever gone. Look how flat the stochastic RSI is. It's just completely dead. Dead narrative. Dead on Ethereum pair. Dead against the Ethereum dominance. But it has an ETF narrative coming up. And we've got rate cuts. So I think this is going to potentially run. I don't think it'll run first. I think Solana will run and then maybe some other popular ones. But I think once people clock DOT has an ETF and they start buying it up, they might start buying it from here. This is when you get in, when it's absolutely at the lows. Now, it's risky, of course, but we've also got RSI divergence. See it there? Low, lower low, and here is low, higher low. So we've got divergence, which says there's a big bullish move coming out. So this is all such strong probabilities. We've got bullish divergence, we've got the bottom of the range, we've got it strong in the Ethereum pair, we've got it strong in the dominance pair as well. And it's got the ETF narrative, which things are looking good. Next one, AVAX. Why have I gone for AVAX? Very similar. I don't know if you can see this bar pattern here, but you know, when this runs. You know, you can take it from here, that's where we got it from, add it onto there. You can instantly see that's the end of December. It's not going to run that hard in December. It's running from the same position essentially. So that's so instantly it's got potential. Then you start looking at the coin. Start looking at the charts. Okay, it's had a strong pull down, about 80% solid. It's got this wedge here, and then we've got the move from the top of the wedge to the bottom. That gives us a measured move to, like, say 61, say around about £100, $100. I got mine in about $30, so I think a 3x is comfortable there. I think once we'll get in here, we'll break through this, we'll hit up this wedge. Once we break for that, you've got the measured move there, and you've got the 618 retracement. So these charts, and you've got the ETF narrative. The ETF narrative will push this up. And the 618, you know, if it wants to just push it up and dump down, a nice 618 retracement is a nice logical step. If we look at AVAX in the Ethereum pair, it's come right so solid. Look at that. So when this is moving up, AVAX is outperforming Ethereum. And when it's going down, Ethereum's outperforming. So you can see AVAX is going all the way down. Ethereum's outperformed it now. But look, when AVAX outperforms Ethereum, poof, straight up. Straight up. And we've come into this solid resistance, support. This was resistance, it's bounced up, bounced, come right into it. We'll set off, bounced, come right into it, and look, it's curling up as well. And it's just going to set off. I think we're going to get a solid move here on the Ethereum pair. And then if I just take my bar chart pattern, something like this, you can suddenly see how quickly this moves there. See, you can see how quickly that moves up. Now, that's doing a 3x on Ethereum. So if Ethereum moves up double, that's going to be 3x on top. But if Ethereum doubles, that'll be 6x. So you got potential there, but I don't see it going up there. I just see it as a nice, you know, it's almost like an oscillator. I think it'll come back up and hit this again, tap it. So I look at that, and then I look at the AVAX pair. Very similar. So we're getting confluence across the charts. And then you can see here, bottomed, it's coming up, it's ready to break out this wedge, it's got the narrative, it'll push forward. And once Solana starts running, AVAX starts running as well. So I thought I'd just get this video out because once things start pumping after this, it's easy for me to put a video out and go, oh, look what I said, but like, I just thought I'll put it out before. So my plan is basically, I've got roughly 10% in DOT, roughly 10% in AVAX. I've got roughly 30% in Sol, and roughly 50% in Ethereum. But I will look to move more Ethereum into the bags. I want to add more. I want to basically get rid of my Ethereum, maybe down to 10-20%, and just hold it, just in case it does something crazy. But I want the majority to be in Solana. I think that's the one to really run. It's kind of proven itself. It's very popular. It's got the ETF, it's got the institutions, it's got everything going for it. And we've got a couple of these coins as well. And remember, guys, this is how I use mine to rotate. If you want to rotate from one coin to another, you can use these charts, but just set them up yourself in the same way. Like I said, I used to put these videos out a lot. I went missing for months and months, but now this top is starting to come. This is going to be the final move up, guys. I am exiting my bags 90% this year. Unless the charts say different, I will be exiting this year and I'm going to be hunting down these tops. This is, I might not post all the time, but I am checking the charts every day. This is what I do. I check the charts every day. And I will post more and more as the top gets near. So once I start saying I'm selling my bags, don't you be going mad now. I've warned you in advance. The selling is coming. I'm going to get myself out the top. You're more than welcome to join us. I'll have a beer on the beach somewhere. Yeah. So stay tuned, guys. Hit the subscribe button for more updates, and I will see you next week, potentially. Cheers.